Hi there everybody, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another episode of the Year of the Guitar. I am Nailz, and we're going to talk a little bit about the November build. I've been aspiring to try to get you more content more frequently. I just put up another video like a week ago, so this is how I'm trying to do it. Anyway, so I've been hard at work at the November build already for a while now, and I haven't given up any details on it so far, but what I'm doing is a bass. I used to play the bass pretty well, so I'm excited about this build because I'm probably going to play with it more than the other guitars. So far, though, this is what I have. It's not final sanded. I still have some carving to do, but as you can see, I inlaid a bunch of zebra wood in here, and I am going to do some fun things with this. But anyway, I have some clips that I'm going to play from the work that I've been doing over the past week or so on it, and then I'm going to try something new after that, and do some drawing and figuring out the carving while I'm talking to you, which I do a lot of voiceover stuff, but I'm going to try something new. I think I mentioned in the last video that my neighbor got me some lights, and actually one of the fixtures for the lights is capable of being a tripod for my camera. And I'm super excited about that because now that means I can get some very, very unflattering angles. Well, they'll be unflattering for me, but you'll get to see what I'm doing a little better, and I am super excited about that. So let's get at it. Here's those clips I was talking about. Okay, so this is probably the first of quite a few unflattering angles. I don't know if you can see my belly from up there. I'm sure you're getting a good view of the top of it. I'm going to block it with my arm here. So as you can see, we have this zebra wood here, and then I have this marked out right here as kind of not so much as an extension or as like a pick guard, but as an extension of the control cover for this jazz bass. I like the way that looks. I want to have a little bit more chrome on it, so I'm going to use the one that came with this kit. I'm not offended by it, but I am offended by the idea that it just kind of like stops there. So I want to put something on top of that that's going to add a little bit. And so what I did was I resawed a piece of the zebra wood that I used for this stuff. I think I'm going to use this side. The grain on this side is a little bit boring, and it's got this notch out of it right here. So I'm going to use this side. I'm going to plane it down a little bit with a router sled that I just made. And then I'm probably going to cut a design out of the middle of it. As far as like the carving goes, you know, usually when I carve a guitar up, I kind of want to have a theme in mind. You know, something to try to achieve with the carving. At first I was thinking, you know, it's the November build, so, you know, I'll just do an autumn themed guitar. But the more I thought about it, like, you know, I don't really want to play an autumn themed guitar. If somebody asked for it, I would gladly make it. But this stuff is for me to learn. So I kind of want to make things that I think are cool and go from there. But anyway, when I think about the bass, though, you know, when I was thinking about themes and stuff, when I think about the bass, I think about the people that, you know, I've seen playing the bass. And there's a few that stand out. You got Les Claypool, who just stands at the front of stage and turns everything up and just does some of the craziest things. And then you've got my other bass hero, Flea. Not only does he play some slap bass that is just unbelievable, but he has the highest energy of any performer I've ever seen. I mean, it's pretty insane. He jumps all over everything. Pretty cool dude. So I think I'm gonna go that route. I want this bass to be high energy. So I think we're gonna go with like high voltage. I might go with like a yellow stain over the front of the bass, and I think I'm going to do lightning bolt carved into this, because I mean lightning bolts, because the grain in the zebra wood kind of looks like that anyway. I think it'll look pretty cool. So I might cut out a lightning bolt out of this and do a few in here. It's time to play around with my pencils and try to figure out what I want to do, though. Alright, so as you can see, I already have a shape marked out for this. I've already got a pattern traced. I just need to transfer it onto that other piece of zebra wood. But right now, what I want to do is work out something that'll go in these areas right here. So I am going to break out my blue pencil. I don't necessarily want to use a graphite pencil or a black pencil. I'm not going to see it as well with all this grain, so I don't want to carve out anything I don't mean to. So I'm just going to start out by making a pretty even line around the edge. And does some cool things. Very cool. All right, so here's where we start trying that new stuff I was talking about. I'm gonna try to do this while I'm talking to you about what I'm doing. I'm not really good at explaining this kind of stuff. I'm not classically trained. I don't actually know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like making wood disappear in the shape that I want it to. So if I'm doing it wrong, and you have tips for me, please leave them in the comments. I'm happy to try them out. So yeah, but usually for my first step, I go ahead and I take the flat side of my chisel and put it the outside of what I'm making for relief, so it's towards the out. It's not facing towards what I'm hogging out. And then I just like press it in. It doesn't have to be super hard. You want to separate the grains or whatnot. And then I just kind of like get the corner of my chisel in the last impression and just kind of roll it into the next one. And then roll it into the next one. And then roll it into the next one. And you just keep putting a little bit of pressure on it. Usually when you're applying pressure to any sort of chisel, I don't know, to me it seems like a good idea to have two hands on it. I'm freaking terrified of these things just slipping out of my hand or off of my carving and just digging into my leg or something like that. So yeah, kids, carve away from yourself. Anyway, so I just do that all the way around the outside dimension of what I'm trying to cut out of the wood. As far as like getting it even and uniform all the way through, every tutorial I've ever looked at in regards to relief carving says that isn't something that you need to worry about. As long as it appears to be flat, nobody's gonna pick on you for not having it perfectly flat. Got that, YouTube? Anyway, so, but I go through and I make sure I don't know, I try to dig it in like a 1/16 of an inch, enough that like I'll get a noticeable dip when I go and you know, dig in towards it. And you know, you might feel tempted to just like take your chisel and just kind of just turn it a little bit, but if you do this to the flat side with the angled side pointing out, you end up with like a bevel at the edge, which, I mean, if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're looking for, but I'm trying to go for something a little straight because I want it to throw a shadow. Because by throwing a shadow, it makes it look deeper than it actually is. I'm not taking off more than an 1/8 inch of anything on this one so far. And that's partially because this is zebra wood, and I don't know. I thought it was going to be harder than it is. It's not a soft wood, but man, it is confusing. So all this white grain or lighter grain in here, in between this dark grain is super soft. I mean, we're talking like, it feels almost like pine soft. And then this darker grain is super brittle. I guess it's like Zirconia, maybe. It feels like it's gonna splinter a lot. So I'm being careful just because of the inconsistency, but overall, I was expecting zebra wood to be a little bit harder to carve into. All in all, 10 out of 10 would do again for another project. The only reason why I don't know if I would use zebra wood frequently is the grain is, aside from it, you know, workability, the aesthetic of it, it's really high contrast grain. It's very pretty, and you know, I think it's real easy to get to a point where you're just like too busy, because you know, you got this grain going everywhere, and then you got whatever angles from your cuts and so on. So I don't know. I like it. It doesn't work bad, but I think in the future, if I were to work with zebra wood again and do carving on it, I would try to do things that don't have a lot of angles, and maybe like more curvature and something that's smooth, so that it really accentuates the grain a little bit more. I think that would be cool. Anyway, so now that I've got the whole outside edge of this lightning bolt kind of like roughed in with my chisel, I'm just going to take it so that the angled side is down and just kind of like chip into those lines that I just cut. I'm not pushing terribly hard. You don't have to push super hard. You don't have to pound on the wood to get it to do what you want. You just have to kind of just, I guess, coax it. I guess coax is a good word. You just gotta convince it to go the way you want it to. So, and then I'll go and I'll just kind of like just do short little like choppy. That was sketchy. I'll do short little like choppy stabs all the way around, and just so that when I come in and I start taking out material in the middle, I don't accidentally jab underneath my cut, and then all of a sudden I have like a really nasty undercut. So I don't know. Like I said, this is how I do it. I don't actually know what I'm doing. This just seems like common sense to me, I guess. So I'm gonna keep at this. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit. I'm gonna stop talking because I feel kind of weird about doing a tutorial when like I really don't know what I'm doing. So just watch the rest of this, and yeah, I'll be done with this part real soon. So I said at the beginning of that last little bit that, you know, every tutorial I've ever seen about relief carving said that it didn't matter how deep or, you know, the uniformity of the depth relief, right? Well, there is a little bit of, like, a little bit more to it than that. Like, it's okay if it's not, like, perfect, but one thing you do have to make sure that you do is you have to go through and you have to make sure that your tool marks are gone. You know, if it's a little wavy, and you know that is what it is. But if you can still see cuts and gouges out of it, then you know it looks like you rushed and you didn't do a good job. So the way you get those tool marks out is you just lightly kind of just run your chisel over the base, and you know what'll happen is it'll catch on anything that's really going to stand out, like a cut or a shive or whatever, or just something that's, you know, a tool mark or something like that. It'll snag on that, and you just kind of lightly follow it out, and you know, make it disappear. Sometimes it'll lead you off, and you'll end up taking out more material at the base, like I am right now, because you had something that was just a bump that's just way too big. You can't leave something like that. So, but yeah, you just lightly go over it and smooth out everything. Take out your tool marks, you know, and to a point, like, you know, sandpaper will make it disappear, but you really want to prep for that, because, you know, if you use too much sandpaper, you can take away some of the detail in your piece, in your carving, and so you want to keep it, you want to get it as flat as you can before you start sanding at it. But I'm about ready to sand this, but that will be another video, I think. All right, so I still have a ton to do. I have to get the pick guard figured out. I have to do the neck. Got to stain it, do all that fun stuff. But I think I'm gonna call it a day here. The video is getting kind of long, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. First off, a lot of the guys from the Great Guitar Build Off are getting together, and they're doing a challenge, so to speak. I guess I I don't know entirely what to call it, but it's definitely a guitar building community thing. So check out #UseWhatYou'veGot, and I have a lot of links and information in the description of this video, so you can go check out all that stuff. Another thing that we got going on is the December build. I have some fun stuff to show you on that too. So I'm kind of pressed for time in December, so instead of building a kit or doing a scratch build, which I'll be doing a scratch build in January, but instead of doing all that, I am going to mod this guitar that I found at a pawn shop for $70. So it's pretty unique. As you can see, it's a single cut, but it's entirely set up like a Strat, so I'm kind of excited about that. I was looking for a Strat initially, but it's the strangest thing. I went to this pawn shop and they didn't have a single Strat that I could do. They had one that was way out of my budget. But anyway, it came down to this or another guitar, and it was kind of funny. Had the people at the pawn shop rolling around laughing because I just asked for a coin, and I do this thing where I just throw a coin on a table and it starts spinning for some reason, and then just slap it down, and that's how I flip a coin. This time it was tails, and actually it was tails to get this one. The other one would have been a little bit easier to work on, although I'm pretty sure the materials would have been lower quality. But I'm going to do some fun stuff with this one. I'm going to go back to probably what I did in the July build, since I didn't make a video for the July build, and that was just basically a straight up body carve, no inserts or anything like that. I'm going to use a tattoo inspired design. So what I'm going to ask you to do is maybe throw a comment on this video talking about what you think would be really cool for a half sleeve design for a tattoo rather than what would look cool on a guitar. I'll figure out how to make that work. But yeah, half sleeve design I think is going to be about, it'll be about the right size to modify to stick in this giant area right here. So go ahead and throw me a comment. Tell me what you think about that. And yeah, if you made it this far into the video, go ahead and like it, subscribe. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, I would appreciate that a lot. It'd be nice to know that more people were watching. It's nice to know that you guys are watching. So yeah, on that note, I am going to call it a day and start getting back to work on that bass, and I'll get as much footage as I can of that. So take care.